Good afternoon, fun family. So I know usually our videos are pretty lighthearted and exciting and all the things that we do with the kids. Today's a more serious video, and we do want to give a quick trigger warning. If you have experienced death in your family or any things going on in your life that hearing about death is going to be a big trigger for you, please exit the video now because we do talk about that in this video. Steven unfortunately got in a car accident the other day. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, despite everything that happened. Doing great.
The first day or so, I think it took like a day or so to like really take it in emotionally, right? But you did get checked out at the doctor, and so you're all good. Now tell us what happened during your accident.
So I was taking Landon off to school. Had just finished dropping him off and was leaving the school. There's a side road by the school. I was there waiting to make a left-hand turn, and I was looking off to the right, and then I just got hit. I felt a huge impact. I didn't see it coming or anything like that. So obviously I was a bit shaken, but I could hear just the motor just going and the wheels spinning on the car that hit me. And I looked over and it was an SUV that had hit me. So I was first kind of just checking, making sure everything's okay, feel my head, everything okay, I'm all right. So then I've got to try and get out of the car, but I got hit on the driver's side tire and hit pretty hard. So our cars kind of spun and we're sitting next to each other, so I couldn't get out the driver's door. So grabbed my phone, and even before I can get out of the car, I hear people saying he's dead, and I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'm trying to get out of the car. So I get out, I'm kind of looking around. I'm waiting for the driver to come around and profusely apologize, but it didn't. So still looking around, and then I hear more people saying he's dead. I was like, no, it can't be. At that point, I realized they were talking about the driver. So I get out, walk around my car, walk around his car, and go over there, and there's an elderly gentleman just slumped over in his seat. But there's a lot of people just kind of standing around looking. One of the guys had taken his leg off the accelerator, so at least the car had stopped trying to go, and then they took the keys out and turned it off. But a lot of people just watching. So I stepped in, looked for a pulse. There was nothing. So then obviously have to try and determine. I know you're not supposed to move people, but at the same time we've got to do something. So I get some help from a couple other gentlemen, carry him out and around the car, set him on a sidewalk, and I start to do CPR. And so someone else I can hear calling police, and it was probably 3 or 4 minutes before the medics got there that I was doing CPR on the gentleman, and then they came and they started doing CPR. Then they used a machine that does it, and then they eventually loaded him up into an ambulance, and it was there for a while. So quite eventful. I mean, there's a lot going on, a lot of different things. Landon's school was great. The principal came out, the PE teacher came out, offered an umbrella. The principal even called later that day, and then I even talked to him yesterday. So they did an amazing job. They were really compassionate in making sure that I'm okay. So it was a really kind of a whirlwind of an experience, and so there's a lot that goes on to it. Ultimately, the gentleman didn't survive. I've got to tow his car, got to tow my car. Police are involved. It's on a highway, kind of, but also on a side road. So there was both Clackamas County, but also the Highway Patrol was there as well. Ultimately, Clackamas County took the case. There's a lot to it.
And not to talk negatively about the other bystanders around who weren't sure what to do. I think initially people do think, do I get him out of the car or not? I think what I believe is correct is that you don't get him out of the car if there's a big accident where it's possibly punctured or internal injuries, but this is actually pretty slow moving street. It wasn't there was no physical damage done to his body, so it was pretty clear to you that it was okay to take him out. But it's in the moment, people are just kind of guessing,
Yeah.
And then kind of once you took the initiative to say, let's get him out, then they were fine helping you. It's just, I think that in the moment, no one knows the perfect answer, especially if they thought that he, had passed away from something that they couldn't fix. After that, Stephen called me and told me I got in an accident in front of Atlanta school. And so the first thing I think was, well, I'm glad you're okay because you're talking to me on the phone. But when he told me that the other gentleman was dead, he didn't know exactly why he was dead until, and they called me back later, and I think they kind of filled in the gaps of what had happened to him. And yeah, it was kind of makes you realize your own mortality. And even though the car didn't, it's damaged, but it didn't look that damaged, but it was damaged enough. And there was, I think you said the axle was broken underneath.
Yeah, we'll put some photos in. We'll put them in right here. Yeah, I've always been taught, if the person's awake and conscious, don't move them, if there's no life threatening. But, this certainly seemed, otherwise there was a witness that had said that they had, that they saw him slumped over in his seat before impact. So that tells me that something happened, heart attack, stroke. We need to get him out and get him taken care of. So, a couple of things to learn from this is, always stay up on your CPR. That way you're well trained and you know what to do. And the fact that you know how to do CPR, but you also know how to react, because some people, do tend to panic, and it's best to stay calm, and it's much easier to stay calm if you know what to do. Other things, it's good to keep emergency preparedness in your car. It was pretty cold out and I was there for a couple hours. Thankfully I had a hoodie and a pair of shoes in my car. So keep something warm, a blanket, first aid kit. Keep those sort of things in your car as well. You never know when you're going to need them. So
yeah, because it was just a quick trip, a couple miles down the road to Landon School, and all that happened. And then he ended up, I was home with all the other kids because Naomi doesn't have any nurses right now, and so he ended up Ubering back. And then ended up taking himself to the hospital just to get checked out, but he was okay. I think they're probably more emotional draining than anything. And Stephen took the next step in, he ended up contacting the wife of the gentleman. So what went through your head when you were having conversation with her?
I mean, I just, all day, I felt so bad, this guy obviously, was just going about his day, and then it ended. So it was just trying to be compassionate and empathetic for the wife, and wondering, is she okay? Is there any sort of clarity that I can provide her, or fill in the blanks, or just to let her know that he didn't suffer, there wasn't any pain or anything like that. So I just wanted to see if there's some way that I could comfort her or anything like that. She actually seemed to be in amazing spirits. I was quite shocked. In doing as well as she was. She said that she had family with her and that we're going to support her and help take care of her. So certainly thankful for that as well.
She could have been still a little bit shocked too, because it was the same day.
Yeah, I'm sure she was.
But I'm thankful she has that support system to get her through. And then since then, it's been just dealing with the insurance agency, and we learned that because it was a medical situation, that it's considered, I don't know, an act of God, basically.
Yeah, you're not liable if there's a
fault.
medical emergency, so you can't be deemed at fault. So his insurance company
doesn't cover it.
Yeah, they won't cover it. Thankfully, we have insurance, and they're gonna take care of us. So.
And then we still have to pay a deductible, even though you weren't at fault. We still have to pay a deductible. So we'll be dealing with insurance, and though that is frustrating, ultimately, it's way less of a frustrating situation than than his side, of course, because ultimately you're here with us, and you didn't get hurt, and we are down a car now, and that is frustrating, but at the same time you're here. We can replace cars.
Mm-hmm.
Cars are just objects, but to think of putting myself in the gentleman's wife's shoes, how would I feel if my husband was just gonna be out running errands, and then suddenly you get a call from a cop saying that your husband is no longer with you? That's very traumatic, and our hearts just go out to his wife and his family, because wow, I mean, that is a rough one, and we will just be praying for them.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, thankfully it's just a car. It's and honestly, it's our third car, or extra car, the one that we don't use the least, and it's as bad as it is. it went as good as a bad thing could have been. I mean, thankfully I had just dropped Landon off. He wasn't in the car. You know, I was completely stopped. I wasn't injured. I did hit my head on the driver's side door, but you know, things could have been so much worse. So we're just thankful to God that it wasn't worse in any sort of way. I mean, so many things could have gone wrong that, you know, we're pretty lucky.
Yeah. We're on our end, it's the best that it could have gone. Well, besides it not happening to you,
Yeah.
but on our end, it's the best that it could have gone. On the other end, you know, the man, he did pass away, and he passed away. I believe they believe he passed away before he hit you, that he was pretty much gone.
Pretty much. I mean, I didn't see any signs of life, so it's really tough to tell.
And his wife did confirm that he had died from a heart attack.
Yeah, it
On the
seemed
phone,
like
she
there was
confirmed that.
no signs of suffering or hurt or pain or anything like that. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah. Well, our hearts go out to his family, and yeah. So you guys just keep that gentleman's family in your prayers, as they probably go through one of the hardest times of their life. So, all right, guys. Well, I think that's it for us today. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Just give your family an extra hug today.
For sure. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.
Thanks.